everybody, what's going on? And welcome back to another Lightsaber Theory. So, on today's Lightsaber Theory, Part 4, we're going to be talking about reversed grip. Now, the reverse grip has been used a lot in anime, and it's been used a lot in different kung fu style shows and other martial arts type shows. But when you talk about practicality, when you use this style of grip in a fight, other than defensive form, it really doesn't make a lot of sense. And I know there's a lot of people that talk about in the Star Wars canon, they talk about Ahsoka Tano used this grip very effectively. What form did Ahsoka Tano use? Well, from all the articles I've read, they say that Ahsoka Tano used a Form 5. Now, Form 5, what is called Jarkai, and is also known as Niman. But Niman is actually Form 6. So this is where a lot of these different articles, none of them can agree on the same thing. And therein lies the problem. When you try to make the argument that, well, her form was this or her form was that, and she used it effectively, you need to look at the form that she was using. So you got to read through the description to figure out which form did she actually use. Was it Form 5 or was it Form 6? So if we read the form of what they say in some of the other articles that Jarkai is, they say it's also called Niman. You read that Form 6 is also referred to as the Niman or the Way of the Rancor. It was developed in order to combine many of the previous forms into one centralized fighting technique. In merging the previous forms, Form 6 became the first form that did not have a signature fighting technique, but also the first form that did not have a particular weakness. Because of the lack of specialization to this method, when training in the Niman form, lightsaber wielders usually accompany this form of combat with force-based combat. So what exactly does that mean? That means that they use the force to enhance their physical abilities when they were using this form. This sounds very much like what Ahsoka Tano did. It's also something that Darth Maul did and Anakin did as well. So I would say it stands to reason that Form 5 that they claim that she used is actually Form 6. Because if we read about Form 5, what do we get? When observing Form 5 of lightsaber combat, a good opponent will be able to recognize the two principal disciplines of Xian and Dimzhou. Form 5 evolved from Form 3 as a method to not only defend oneself, but also give the fighter an opportunity to be on the offensive. Xian, the classical variant of Form 5, is mainly used in combat that takes place at a distance, like deflecting shots from a blaster. On the other hand, Dimzhou was specifically designed for a lightsaber-to-lightsaber combat. The underlying factor in both Xian and Dimzhou is to use your opponent's attacks against them in a counterstrike. Like many lightsaber forms, this one is used by both Sith and Jedi alike. Although some Jedi felt that the aggression used in this form was not faithful to the Jedi way. Many large lightsaber-wielding individuals prefer to use Form 5 because it relies less on acrobatics than some of the other offensive forms. So here we have a definitive form that does not rely on acrobatics quite as much as some of the other forms. Ahsoka Tano is very acrobatic in her moves when she is fighting. Hence, she is using Form 6. Okay. Now, some people actually tried to claim that, it says that, this form of lightsaber combat was used with this form. And it does not say anywhere in any of the form pages that I have read that they use a reverse grip. It just does not say it anywhere. This is something that is just preference. Now, as I go through the moves of using a reverse grip, you could see that you have to turn your body in front of you, and you could try to extend your arm, but it does not feel natural when you are bringing that blade from the side of your body. It is not a natural movement to be able to extend your arm outwards like that. It is more akin to, say, throwing a bolo punch than it is to swinging your arm in front of you. Because you're holding it on the reverse angle and you want to get your blade out in front of you, in order to do that, you've got to keep your arm bent. Now, like I said, you can try to extend it, but it is not an easy thing to do because your arm naturally just does not want to turn that way, especially with the amount of turn that you would have to put in your wrist in order to get this blade to go straight out and your arm to go straight out to get distance on it. Now, obviously, in the traditional way of doing it and the way your body mechanics are going to want to work, the blade will wind up closer to your body. So this is more of a defensive form and not so much of an offensive form, because you don't really want to be extending with your body the way you're going to have to do with this form. Because in order to get your arm out there further on an attack, you're going to have to need to step in and move your entire body. As in comparison to a traditional grip, where you just sit there and you can get full length arm movement without leaning in, without extending your body. Now, if you extend your body with a traditional handle grip, you're going to get a lot more distance. So in the end, what do I think about the reverse grip? I think in a traditional defensive form, this would be a decent enough grip. If you are not really planning on going on the offensive, this would be an absolutely fine grip to use. Although you can actually get just as much movement with a traditional overhand grip, in certain circumstances, this reverse grip can be just fine for a defense. I just find it to be stupid because you've got to actually take your arm and move it a lot further. Anyway, guys, that's all I really got to say on this for now. What do you think? Leave your comments down below. If you like what you've seen, hit the like button and please subscribe if you haven't already. And I will see you all again next time. Later, y'all.